You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. Every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, we're here live to help you better grow your real estate business. And if you haven't quite started your real estate business, this is where a lot of people get that initial inspiration, learn some of the basics, some of the concepts that get them excited enough to want to take on the licensing process, which in and of itself is not really that difficult. So what we're going to be talking about today is that licensing process, in fact. So we'll break down the licensing process step by step. So if you are brand new to real estate, briefly, you'll know exactly what you need to do and where to go to get all the other details it is that you'll need. And then we'll also dive into launching that real estate career. So if you're just getting started in real estate and you're trying to put it all together to get yourself skyrocketing to success, maybe it's the initial licensing, maybe it's that going from I've closed one or two deals or no deals to you're consistently closing multiple deals per week. It's all about having the right information, the right guidance, and that's what I'm here to share with you today. No charge, for free. We're broadcasting right now on YouTube, on the TampaSchoolOfRealEstate.com, I believe on Facebook, on Instagram. So wherever it is that you're tuning in with us today, welcome. And if you want to go to the official live broadcast, go to tsre.us/live. You should be able to see it right at the bottom of the screen right now, tsre.us/live. Put in that link. That'll take you right to the official live broadcast where there is a chat that I've got loaded on my screen right now. And so if you have any questions about any of the content it is that we're covering, you could reach out to us through that chat there. Or if you'd like to reach out to one of our advisors confidentially and directly, let's go to the board here. I'll put the phone number up here for you. You can call or text one of our advisors confidentially, 813-333-2676. That's 813-333-2676. And these aren't just people that have no idea about real estate. These are people with real estate licenses. These are people with broker licenses, even instructor licenses. So this is an amazing team that you have access to by just simply entering these numbers into your phone, 813-333-2676. And we've bottled up a lot of really great information online at tsre.us. So if you want to get some direct guidance, advice, even again, if you want to set up something as in-depth as tutoring or business consulting, whatever it may be, we have that, as well as live in-person classes, exam prep, on-demand programs, video-based programs with apps that you could do offline. We've got all kinds of crazy stuff. It's kind of overwhelming to cover all in one episode. So again, one more time, that phone number is 813-333-2676. Reach out with us to any questions you have. You can call or text us at that number. If you're not sure which program is going to be the best for you, which one you need, which one is going to qualify for what hours you need, especially if you're in continuing education, reach out. Let our advisors guide you step by step through the licensing process, the renewal process, wherever you're at in your real estate career. We're here to help you accelerate your real estate career to the stars and beyond. So welcome into everybody tuning in here today. What we're talking about, the topic of today's show, put it back on the background here, the summer for your future. And I wanted to call this today a summer to remember, because if you really do something big this summer, I remember the summer I got my real estate license. I was licensed in June 14th it was. Oh man, look at that. June 14th, 10 years ago today, 2014, is when I got my sales associate license. Maybe it was June 15th. But it was June. I remember it was in the month of June. And so that summer, me looking back on this 10 years later, I don't even think I'm the same person I was back then. And for the better, really. because I have been able to achieve things that I never thought possible from John 10 years ago. Fast forward to John today, I look back as that summer that completely changed the trajectory of my future, that took me from the path that I was on and sidetracked and derailed me onto the path that I stand before you here today. And that, in fact, is probably one of my most memorable summers. And so maybe you're not quite at that stage yet. Maybe you don't have your real estate license. Maybe you've been thinking about starting a real estate career, and you want to have that summer to remember. That summer that's for your future. Because let me tell you what I was doing in that summer 10 years ago. I was hitting the books. I was hitting the books hard. Not so much book. Well, actually, yeah, it was books. I remember I had this little online test question bank thing. But that's what I was using first, and that really didn't help me so much because I was focused too much on the wrong answers. I was focused too much on the particulars of the questions. It wasn't until I got down to the simple key points. I think I had some sort of review book. I think I also had another question book because I remember doing questions out of a book. There was like this book that had maybe like 700 questions in it or something like that. I remember doing little practice tests that people had given me to take. So it wasn't a fun summer. I wasn't going to the beach. I wasn't hanging out. I wasn't just sitting around doing nothing. I was working a full-time job and trying to transition out of the life that I seemed almost destined for on that previous trajectory I was on. But I wasn't destined for that life because I was destined to make that change. I was destined to make that the summer to remember. And at the time, it still felt to me like this was something I was just going to try out. It wasn't something that I was committed to for at least 10 years. Going back 10 years ago, I didn't think I was still going to be doing anything related to real estate today. 10 years later. I didn't think I'd be in real estate more than a couple years. I didn't think I was going to be in real estate more than 2 years when I first got licensed. And you know why? Because I didn't want to do my post-licensing course right away. Because I got the license, and when at some point, somebody did ask me, hey, are you going to take your post-licensing? And I remember saying, no, I don't need to do that yet. I don't remember how early on it was, but I do remember at one point during that like 18 to 24 month period between when I got my license and when I had to renew it, of when I was asked, hey, when are you going to take that? But no one really made a big deal about it. Nobody stressed it. I remember it coming up just as like a thing because you got to do it because it's a renewal. And that's the way a lot of people think of the post-licensing course. But so let me break this down. If you're brand new to real estate, if you're brand new, you don't have your real estate license yet. So this is the course we use to help you get your real estate license. It's actually the course that's required by the Florida Real Estate Commission. And it's not necessarily the textbook itself because you can't just get a textbook to fulfill the course requirement. You actually have to take some sort of course. And that could be an in-person class where you're sitting in front of an instructor going through this book together. Or it could be an on-demand format where you're going to be sitting in front of a computer screen with me, going through this book one-on-one. More so going through the slides on the screen because there's a lot of visual involved with that there, but your book is your reference that follows along with everything going on. And so that course, it focuses on a lot of laws and rules. It's called Principles, Practices, and Law. And 60% of the state exam that you need to get your real estate license is laws. And so that's why the focus in here is so much on laws. And that's why it does leave a bad taste in people's mouth in terms, especially if you were wanting to learn about selling real estate when you came to get your real estate license. You would think this big, like 500-600 page book here, you would learn about selling real estate. And you do. You learn about the laws and rules as it relates to selling real estate. But when it comes to actually the business of selling real estate, that's where the pre-licensing isn't necessarily the information you need to know. It's the post-licensing. And so what this is this is the most foundational, most fundamental topics that you need to know about having a real estate career. And just to give you a quick overview of some of the details that are in here, some of the chapters we'll go over here. So Unit 3, it's one of the first couple of units. The first two, you do some legal reviews just for the laws that are actually things that you need to be reminded about when you have your license, because they're some of the most likely things people lose their license over. So those are at the beginning there, just to make sure you refresh on that. So it's not 100% law-free. There are a little bit of laws in there. This is a FREC required course, but we have a much more fluid, much more flexible syllabus for post-licensing compared to the much more specific syllabus, and really because of the state exam. There's no state exam for this post-licensing course here. And so this post-licensing course, Unit 3, that's where things really start getting exciting, because that's where you start doing business planning. And business planning and time management, that's the name of the chapter. This is really the foundation. Now, you might already have some business planning and time management skills. That is fantastic. You'll fly through that chapter there, because now you're just learning the real estate specific things, what you need to do specifically as it relates to real estate in terms of time management and business planning. And so whether, again, you're brand new to running a business or you've never ran a business before, maybe you've only ever been an employee, most of our students coming through our doors here to get their real estate license are not people that are already running businesses. We do have some entrepreneurs that come in here that are other business owners that also want to get a real estate license, but the majority of people, just like the majority of how most people earn their living, is through a W-2 employee type of role. And in those W-2 employee type of roles, now again, maybe you have some sort of leadership role or anything like that, but unless you're at like the very top overseeing everything, you're not quite doing the same thing that you're doing as a real estate professional, because even though you're brand new, you just get your real estate license and you go join a brokerage, you're still your own independent business. Now, there are some opportunities available where there is like a W-2 salary type of situation, whether it's you're working for a builder or sometimes leasing offices. We'll be looking for licensed professionals as opposed to unlicensed professionals, so that way they could additionally compensate them based on leases rather than just compensating them with a salary or hourly wage. So there's other opportunities that are out there. But in terms of, and look, don't get me wrong, working for a home builder, working in a leasing office, especially in the role where you're in the role as a licensed professional, and that's what they hired you as, a licensed professional. Either way, you have the ability to shape your future in terms of income through production, because those are roles that they require a real estate license in order to pay you based off of your production, because that's effectively like a real estate commission when they're paying you based off of your production. So even if it is some sort of salaried role, you could still make good money and you might enjoy it a lot more than whatever you're doing right now. But if you really wanted to get into the life-changing thing, get in a gigantic house on the water, some sort of yacht, crazy cars, whatever it is that you want to do with your money, maybe you just wanted to provide a better life for your family. Maybe you just want to be able to take better trips. Maybe you want to be able to fly in a private jet one day. Maybe you want to own a private jet one day. Whatever your dreams may be, look, I'm not here to tell you that real estate's going to solve every problem and make you every last penny, but it's going to be if not the thing, a major stepping stone to your thing. Because, you know, maybe someday you become a super mega real estate investor, but you got your start as a real estate licensee. That's where a lot of our students want to be on that path. They see the real estate license as a stepping stone. Now that was probably a little bit more me as well when I got my real estate license. You know, I was much younger then. I didn't have a lot of things figured out. But again, I didn't know whether or not I wanted to keep a real estate license for 2 years, and that was part of the reasons why I didn't want to take post-licensing right away. I was like, let me just go ahead and see if I could figure this out, and then take the course that's basically, and it's almost like you get a piece of furniture. Say you get like a desk. You order a desk off of Amazon, and it gets shipped to you in a bunch of little boxes with all these little parts. And you try to put it together without reading the instructions. And chances are, you're not going to do it 100% correct, or if you do, it's going to take longer because you're having to put stuff together, pull it apart. I know this because I try to do stuff, put furniture together without reading the directions all the time. And when I do that, and I don't even at least take a peek at the instructions, a lot of times, you know, something might be backwards, something might be flipped around. Unless it's a well-engineered piece of furniture where they've got it where it only goes together one way, you know, you might make a mistake. And now, why do we skip reading the instructions? Because that takes time. This is a 45-hour post-licensing course, and this is right after you take your 63-hour pre-licensing course. We recommend taking this because as soon as you're licensed, you could take this. So take this course. We've got our Pass First Try exam prep tools. This whole thing, you can get a bundle together. It saves you a ton of money. Talk to our advisors at that same phone number, 813-333-2676. They'll be able to get you set up with that bundle pricing for the pre, the post-licensing, and all the exam prep to bridge the gap in between those right there. But this pre-licensing course is going to teach you a lot of information, but don't get discouraged by how much information that's in there and how much of it doesn't seem like it's about making money, because this course is not about making money at all. It's really about just doing things legally. There is a one piece of math in there, which is calculating commission. That's pretty much the one part in here about making money. The rest of it, again, it's the principles, the practices, the laws, the rules, everything you can and can't do with a real estate license. That's what they want you to learn. That's what the Florida Real Estate Commission is concerned with for getting the license, and that's why those exam prep tools can be so beneficial to help you really hone in on what those most important things are. But again, once you get the license, even though you could join a broker right away, and many of our students will, because if you're really sold on some place and that's where you want to go, sure. But if you're not sure you really want to go for a brokerage, or even if you are joining a brokerage right away, get this post-licensing course done as soon as possible. And again, we now have this with a video-on-demand course, a one-on-one video-on-demand course with me. I'm sitting here in the same studio teaching this information with the slides of all the information going through it, section by section, and it's all on demand. So especially with this information where, again, there's no state exam to study for, but maybe you want to reference that business planning section again. You maybe complete it for credit. So that way you can get your credit, you go through, complete all the sections. But then what if you're writing your business plan, you want to go back through it and see, oh, well, let's see, what am I supposed to be doing with this again? How should I set this up? That's the benefit of having that video on demand program. Now, we also have live schedules available, which many of our students will prefer just because it commits them to a set schedule to get this done. And especially if you're coming up on your renewal deadline, that's probably the best way to get this done. That's how I did it way back when I got my post-licensing done. I did it in a live class, so that way I got it done because, I was all over the place back then. Still a little disorganized today, but you should have seen me back then, before the summer that changed my future. And so this little program here that we call the Complete Jumpstart Bundle, it's your pre-licensing to get your initial license, all the exam prep tools, which are all digital, on-demand, 24/7. We also have a workbook we ship out for you that as well. And then your post-licensing course. Again, all video on-demand programs, or we could set this up with a live class online or a live class in person. So if you want to do like a Zoom-style live online class, we have those schedules available in addition to in-person classes. So however it is that we could help you out, reach out to us. Again, that phone number is 813-333-2676. I know I mentioned we're going to talk about the licensing steps, and I want to touch on that briefly because a lot of people get overwhelmed with just how complex it might seem when it's really just such a simple process. So we've got this all broken down with further detail because it's those details that bogs everybody down and gets things confusing. So for the full details, you can check out licensefl.com, but the steps are going to be extremely simple. Number one is enroll in pre-licensing. So that's step one. Enroll in the 63-hour pre-licensing. Step two is get fingerprinted. You need to get fingerprinted for your application with the state because step three is your file your application. So this is the formal application you're making to the state of Florida to get your real estate license. And then step four is to pass your class and state exams. And these exams are multiple choice. It's a 70% class rate for the end of course or the class exam, whatever program you're doing, on demand, virtual, live in person, whatever it may be. It's all 70% across the board for your pre-licensing course for the end of course exam. And then your state exam is a 75%. This is 100 questions, multiple choice, A, B, C, D. There's like 10 math questions on there, but even the math questions are multiple choice, A, B, C, D. So again, this is a super simple, super basic, super super easy process because you pass your class and state exams. Step 5 is you are licensed. And so step 5, I would say, after you pass your class and state exams, is to enroll in the 45-hour. Because that's the one that's going to teach you the business planning. That's the one that's going to teach you prospecting for listings. That's the one that's going to teach you how to present an offer rather than just writing up a contract. That one's going to teach you how to price a property to sell rather than just the basics of appraisal that you learn in your pre-licensing. So pre-licensing is before you're licensed. Post-licensing is after you're licensed. And then if you really want to go beyond that, once you have 2 years of experience, you could even upgrade to a broker license. And you might say, well, what does that allow you to do? Well, that allows you to open your own brokerage and employ other sales associates. You could open up your own independent office, or you could keep your broker license with your current broker, just with the title of broker associate. Every broker will allow this unless they say they don't, but I've yet to meet a broker that says they won't, because they don't even know in most cases. Usually you just get a new license. It's not even a new license number. They just put a BK in front of your license number, or technically a BL, because you're a broker associate rather than a broker. The broker is the person that is running the office. And now, even if you're a sales associate, you're an independent contractor, so it's still your own business, and that's why the business planning and time management is going to be so essential to your foundation. And part of choosing a good broker as a new agent is making sure you understand what broker is the best fit for your business plan. But if you don't yet have a business plan, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to match up a good broker when you have no plan to match it up with. They'll all seem good then at that point. If all the brokers you're looking at seem like they're good brokers, that means you need to maybe get a little bit more figured out on your side to figure out which one has more that's applicable to your plan. Not necessarily just which one ever sounds the best or has the most bells and whistles, the most features, or the highest commission split. I mean, you really only get to 100%, and at that point, that's all the commission there. And there's still some sort of transaction fee, monthly fee, some sort of fee somewhere. And so, yes, there's all the cost, but you can't just blindly pick a brokerage based on cost. If you really want to truly ensure your success, having a plan for that success and then finding really a partnership in that brokerage, that's what you're looking for. You're not necessarily getting a job because, again, you're an independent contractor and you're looking for a brokerage to be able to partner with for leveraging their tools, their technology, their support system, the credibility, whatever it may be, the training. Again, training is still going to be necessary even after post-licensing, because this is going to be your basics, your foundations, your fundamentals, and there's still going to be more specific, more technical things. And so you follow these steps. It's not a question of if you're going to find success. It's a question of when you're going to find success and exactly how you find that success. But you'll be able to uncover those secrets moving through this process. And let me share something with you. The faster you move through this process, the faster you achieve that success, because you maintain the momentum. You're getting speed and you're keeping it moving forward. And that's where you start to almost develop your own like gravitational pull, where you're just like pulling business into you. But that's what that momentum, that's what that movement, that's what that motion is going to get for you. So we want to help you accelerate this process as much as possible. If you're getting stuck in this window right here, if you're getting stuck in this window from taking the course to getting past your state exam so you could take the post-licensing, that's where our Pass First Try exam prep tools are going to help support you through that process there. The Pass First Try exam prep tools is a whole system with tools to follow along with each step to help you pass the exam. Especially the state exam. The class exam is usually pretty straightforward. The state exam, the big difference is there's a 200 potential question bank for your end of course exam, where there's a probably 2,000, 3,000, multiple thousand question bank for your state exam. It's thousands of questions they're pulling from for your 100 questions. So there's so many different ways they could ask about the same topics. And we break this all down further in the Secrets of the Exam, which is one of the courses in that Pass First Try strategy. We break down how to use all these tools together, and we give you so many tips of how to really take the fullest advantage of that testing system that is available to you. So look, that's about all the time we've got for today. I really appreciate you joining in here with me live. Again, if you do have any questions about anything, whether it's something we covered today or otherwise, reach out to our advisors, 813-333-2676. Again, that phone number is 813-333-2676. That's about all the time we've got for today. We'll be back next Friday at 12 noon to help you better understand the real estate industry and fast track your way to success. Until then, have yourself an epic weekend, and I'll see you next Friday.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.